Excuse me. You folks need to come with me right now.
What? What do you mean? We just finished eating.
Yeah, and you didn't pay. Multiple witnesses reported it.
That's not true. We paid. I have the receipt.
Huh, sure. Nobody remembers that. Step outside, now.
Officer, my kid
Please check with the manager. I don't need to check anything. Hands where I can see.
Cop accuses black family of theft at restaurant. Security camera exposes him. $2.05 M settlement. Officer Chen had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 72 hours, his false accusation would trigger a wrongful detention lawsuit, a public relations nightmare for the police department, and a $2.5 million settlement. But the real damage was already done. A black family humiliated in front of strangers. Children traumatized by an officer's baseless accusation. What Officer Chen didn't know was that Keisha Williams wasn't just another customer. She was a paralegal with 15 years of experience in civil rights law. Her husband Marcus had documented everything: the receipt, the timestamps, the witnesses who saw them pay, and most importantly, the restaurant's security cameras had captured it all. As Officer Chen escorted the family outside, those cameras were still recording every word, every gesture, every lie. The footage would become the evidence that destroyed his case. It exposed a pattern of racial profiling within his entire department. Before I continue, let me ask you, have you ever been accused of something you didn't do? Drop your answer in the comments. Sometimes the truth doesn't need a lawyer to speak for it. It just needs to be seen. Keisha Williams had no idea who she was about to face that day. She was 38 years old, a certified paralegal working at a law firm specializing in police misconduct cases. For 15 years, she'd been handling civil rights cases. She studied constitutional law. She understood evidence collection. She knew proper police procedure inside and out. She had trained other paralegals on recognizing unlawful detentions. She personally handled over 40 police misconduct cases. But here's the thing, Keisha deliberately kept quiet during confrontations. She knew when to hide her expertise. She understood that showing off her knowledge too early could escalate situations. She was a mother of 2 children, ages 8 and 11, married to Marcus, who worked in data analysis, taking her family to their favorite local restaurant on a Saturday afternoon. A place where they'd eaten dozens of times without incident. Now here's what happened next. On that Saturday afternoon in March 2023, Keisha was just trying to enjoy a meal with her family. She had no idea that Officer Chen would transform that simple act into a constitutional nightmare, and that her expertise would become the very thing that would expose him. Officer Thomas Chen had a reputation in this neighborhood, but not the kind he wanted. He was 45 years old, 12 years on the force, known for aggressive enforcement in predominantly black neighborhoods, promoted twice despite complaints, protected by his union at every turn. Between 2015 and 2023, Chen had filed 127 reports against black residents. 73% of those stops resulted in 0 charges. 8 complaints of racial profiling, every single one dismissed internally, yet he kept patrolling. In 2018, he stopped a black teenager for matching a description of a suspect. No charges. The family filed a complaint, dismissed. In 2021, he accused a black woman at a grocery store of shoplifting. Security footage showed she paid. Charges dropped. No investigation into Chen's conduct. 2 weeks before this incident, he called about a suspicious group at this same restaurant. The owners were confused. Nothing had even happened. Same pattern. This time was different. Other officers had a nickname for him. They called him the Accuser. Everyone knew his name. What Chen didn't anticipate was that his next target would have a law degree in her pocket and a camera recording his every word. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Saturday, March 18, 2023, 3:45 in the afternoon, Mason's Diner, a family-owned restaurant in the Oak Park neighborhood, operating for 18 years, known for friendly service and diverse customers. The lunch rush was winding down. About 60 people inside, families and small groups scattered throughout, soft background music, clinking plates, casual conversation, natural light pouring through front windows, 2 security cameras, one covering the register, one covering the main seating area. The staff included owner Marcus, age 52, manager Tanya, age 34, 3 cashiers and 4 servers. Keisha's family arrived at 2:15. They were greeted warmly. The staff recognized them. They were seated in the main area near the window. The family ordered kids' meals, 2 adult entrees, drinks, and dessert. They ate from 2:25 to 3:35. The check total was $64.87. They paid with a debit card at the register, received a receipt at 3:36. Everything was normal. Everything was documented. Then someone called the police. They claimed a black family dined indoors. While Keisha's group was still eating dessert before they even tried to leave. At 3:47, Officer Chen's patrol car pulled into the parking lot. In 180 seconds, everything would change. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe right now. Officer Chen walked through the restaurant door. He went straight to their table. "Excuse me, you folks need to come with me right now," he said. Keisha looked confused. What do you mean? We just finished eating," she replied. "Yeah, and you didn't pay. Multiple witnesses reported it," Chen said. Keisha kept calm. "That's not true. We paid our cashier. She gave us a receipt," she said. Chen's voice got harder. "Huh, okay, sure. Well, nobody remembers that. Need you to step outside now." Keisha didn't want her kids scared. "Officer, my kids are scared. Can you please just check with the manager?" she asked. "I don't need to check anything. You're making this difficult." "Hands where I can see them," Chen demanded. Marcus stood up slowly. "We paid. We have the receipt right here," he said. "Stay in your seat, both of you outside now. You're about to be arrested for theft," Chen said. His hand moved to his belt. Keisha spoke carefully. "For what?" "Eating lunch," Chen's face hardened. "For theft of services. I have witnesses who saw you leave without paying." Keisha stayed composed. "Officer, I understand you received a call, but our payment is recorded. Our receipt is time-stamped. Your witnesses are mistaken." Chen didn't listen. "I don't care what you think you understand. You're coming with me." Then witnesses started speaking. A regular customer named Sarah spoke up. "Officer, I saw them pay. They were at the register right in front of me." Server Maya joined in. "Yes, I remember them. They paid with a card. I can show you the transaction in our system." Another customer named James said, "Man, this is wrong. Everyone here knows what happened. You're looking at the wrong people." Chen ignored them all. His voice rose. His hand stayed near his belt. He approached Keisha with an intimidating posture. The children started crying. The restaurant noise dropped as customers watched. "Step outside." "Final warning," Chen said. Keisha gathered her children. They stood slowly. She complied to protect her family. "Type justice if you think this was wrong." Outside in the parking lot, Chen began placing handcuffs on Marcus. Then manager Tanya rushed out. She was holding the payment receipt. She had access to the register system. "Officer, stop. Here's the receipt. Here's our system showing the transaction. They paid at 3:36, Tanya said. Chen didn't look at the evidence. He insisted on proceeding. "I'm calling the owner right now. You need to see this," Tanya said. Owner Marcus arrived 5 minutes later. He had the owner's system showing the full transaction record. Keisha stood calmly despite her fear. She spoke carefully. "Officer, I'd like to see the written complaint and the witness statements. I want to understand the basis for this accusation," she said. Chen's face hardened. He suddenly realized this wasn't routine intimidation. Keisha continued with a measured tone. "Because my family paid, there's video evidence, a time-stamped receipt, multiple witnesses, a transaction record." "This appears to be a false accusation," she said. Owner Marcus checked his system. "She's right. I'm looking at my system right now. This is documented," he said. Now witnesses spoke formally. Manager Tanya explained, "I processed their payment myself. It was accepted. They have the receipt. I watched them the entire time." Customer Sarah added, "I was literally standing behind them at the counter. I saw the whole transaction. They definitely paid." Server Maya showed her screen. "System shows the charge cleared immediately. It's right here, 3:36, charged to their debit card." The evidence was overwhelming. The security camera was recording. The POS system had transaction records with timestamps. The family had a receipt. Multiple written witness accounts existed. Officer Chen's own body camera was capturing his false statements. Owner Marcus called the district supervisor. The supervisor arrived 15 minutes later. He reviewed the security footage in real time. He watched Chen place the family in custody without evidence. His face hardened as the footage played. He watched Chen approach the family aggressively. He saw the false accusations. He saw payment clearly on video. Chen began stammering. He changed his story. "I was responding to a report," he said. "Well, somebody called it in," he added. "The caller said they saw," he started. The supervisor interrupted. "Who called it in?" Chen couldn't answer. Dispatch would have the info, but he trailed off. The supervisor watched the entire footage. He saw no evidence of theft. He saw payment clearly. He saw Chen's aggressive approach. "Officer, remove the handcuffs." "No." The supervisor commanded. By this moment, Officer Chen was beginning to understand. He had made a catastrophic mistake. He'd stopped a black family eating lunch. He'd accused them of theft without evidence. He'd placed a child in a police car. He'd done it all on video, in front of witnesses, while a paralegal filmed his every word. The only question was how much this mistake would cost him and his entire department. Wait until you hear what happened next. District Supervisor Captain James Morrison arrived, 20 years on the force, known for actual accountability. His first action was simple. "I need to see the security footage now," he said. The investigation took 18 minutes. Morrison reviewed 25 minutes of video. He watched the family enter, order, eat, go to the register, make payment, receive the receipt, sit back down. He watched Chen enter, immediately approach the table, make accusations without speaking to staff. He watched Chen escalate despite evidence. He interviewed all 3 witnesses separately, 5 minutes each. He reviewed the POS system showing transaction details. He verified the receipt date and transaction code. He called dispatch to identify the caller. Turns out it was a customer at a different table, someone who misunderstood the situation. That customer admitted the error to the dispatcher. Chen's story fell apart in 3 ways. First, he claimed they left without paying. Video showed them at the register 11 minutes before his arrival. The transaction had cleared. The receipt was in their hand. Second, he claimed multiple witnesses confirmed it, but only one confused caller existed. 3 witnesses at the scene confirmed payment. The caller admitted they were mistaken. Third, he claimed he was responding to an active report, but the report was vague, just mentioned a black family, came from someone confused. The dispatcher should have clarified before sending an officer. No proper investigation protocol was followed. Morrison made his decision at 4:26 in the afternoon. This stop had no probable cause. There is clear evidence of payment. "Officer Chen, you are immediately suspended pending investigation," Morrison said. To the family he added, "I sincerely apologize. Your family will not be charged. You are free to go." To the owner he said, "We'll need copies of all footage and records for our investigation." Chen heard the words. He knew it was over. He began stammering, denying. "Captain, I was just following protocol," he said. Then anger came. "This is entrapment. I'm the victim here," he claimed. Then desperation. "Can we just settle this? Talk to my union?" No answer came, just silence. Chen realized he was documented on video, making a false arrest. The family walked to their car. Restaurant customers applauded. The children were no longer crying. They were safe. The staff felt relieved but traumatized. Owner Marcus had filmed the entire scene on his phone. He had captured everything. By 6:47 that evening, his 47-second video was uploaded. Someone was going to answer for this. If you believe accountability matters, hit subscribe right now. Marcus Williams uploaded to Twitter. His caption read, "Police profiling, officer accused my black family of theft at restaurant. We paid, video proves it, he detained us anyway. Where's the accountability?" By 7:15 p.m., the post reached 10,000 views. Local activists started sharing. By 8:30, the video trended on Twitter, 187,000 views. By 9:45, local news stations called the restaurant owner. By 11:59 at night, the video hit 1.2 million views. Twitter saw 1.1 million views, 89,000 retweets, 45,000 quote tweets. Facebook showed 340,000 shares. Instagram's clipped version reached 756,000. TikTok's reposted version went viral. Total, 3.8 million views in 24 hours. Comment sections filled with reactions. People wrote, "This is disgusting." Officer arrests a paying family based on false report. The system is broken. Others added, "Everyone needs to see this. This is what racial profiling looks like in real time." Some said, "The officer's body cam should be mandatory for all stops. This is why people don't trust police." Another wrote, "The restaurant owner knew, the staff knew, Chen didn't care, that's the problem." Local news covered it that evening. Police accused black family of theft at restaurant. Video proves otherwise. Regional outlets followed next morning. Caught on camera, officer's false arrest caught in minutes. National outlets covered it by noon. CNN, MSNBC, NPR all reported the story. They revealed Chen's 12-year record, 73% of stops with no charges, 8 prior complaints. Police department released a statement. "We are investigating Officer Chen's conduct." The city takes these allegations seriously. The restaurant owner said, "Our staff followed protocol, we cooperated fully, this should never happen." Police unions stayed silent or became defensive. The union rep said Chen was being railroaded. Chen's Facebook got deleted, but screenshots were already shared 89,000 times. His family members posted defending him online. Comments ratio was 50-1 against him. Local police defended him in internal communications. Those got leaked to media within hours. By 48 hours, Officer Chen had become a symbol of systemic racism. The police department was in crisis management, but in 3 days, something worse would happen, something exposing Chen's entire career. Share this story if you think others should see this. Keisha and Marcus filed a lawsuit. March 21, 2023, 3 days after the incident, they were represented by a civil rights firm. The lawyers worked pro bono. No charges paid by the family. The legal claims were serious. Violation of Fourth Amendment. That means unlawful detention. Violation of 14th Amendment. That means equal protection and racial discrimination. False arrest. Emotional distress. Both intentional and negligent. Defamation. False accusation. They initially sought $5 million. But first, the district attorney opened a criminal investigation. Internal Affairs launched a formal inquiry. Chen was placed on administrative leave, paid leave while they investigated. This is important. He kept getting paychecks while under investigation. Discovery later revealed a catastrophic pattern. Chen's full record showed 127 stops in 8 years. 73% resulted in 0 charges. Internal emails showed supervisors knew about this pattern. They took no action. The evidence of racial profiling was clear. 89% of Chen's stops involved black residents. The neighborhood was only 34% black. Prior complaints numbered 8 formal and 23 informal, all dismissed without investigation. Body camera footage from 3 prior incidents showed similar aggressive tactics. Dispatch records proved Chen received vague reports. He should have investigated more carefully before acting. The city calculated trial liability at $8.2 million if a jury saw this evidence. They chose to settle instead. Damage control was easier than trial. The settlement came in November 2023, 8 months later. Here's what the settlement included: $2.5 million to the Williams family, the largest single payout in the city's history for police misconduct. $340,000 more for legal fees and court costs. Total cost to taxpayers, $2.84 million, but the professional consequences were worse for Chen. He resigned from the force in October 2023 before settlement was announced. His pension was forfeited, $180,000 annual retirement denied. His state certification was revoked, permanently banned from law enforcement. He couldn't work in security. Couldn't work loss prevention, not anywhere in the state. The police department faced additional lawsuits. 5 other residents Chen had stopped settled for $500,000 total. This established a pattern. The police chief issued an apology, but it felt half-hearted. The union criticized her for throwing Chen under the bus. The department implemented mandatory retraining, constitutional law, implicit bias, Fourth Amendment rights. All officers had to pass annual certification. 3 failures meant permanent certification revocation. New policy required all stops to have documented probable cause, approved by dispatch before enforcement. All incidents recorded and filed. Chen himself remained silent. His attorney advised no public statements. He moved to another state. His social media got deleted. The union released a statement: "We stand by all law enforcement." This was a difficult case. Keisha and Marcus didn't celebrate with anger. They wanted change, not revenge. Keisha said, "We didn't want this to be about money. We wanted accountability and change. Money doesn't undo what happened to our children." Marcus added, "The system failed us. Only video evidence saved us. How many families don't have that?" They donated $500,000 to civil rights organizations. Keisha left her law firm. She started a non-profit tracking police misconduct cases. The real question haunted everyone. How many families had Chen stopped before capture? How many would other officers stop tomorrow? Keisha Williams spoke to the camera 1 year later. She was at a community center, surrounded by photos of other families affected by police misconduct. Her voice was steady but emotional. "My 8-year-old still has nightmares. She asks, 'Mom, if we paid, why did the policeman say we stole?' How do you explain racism to a child? How do you explain that paying for something isn't enough if someone decides you're guilty?" She paused. "My 11-year-old recorded the whole thing without me knowing. He was terrified but conscious enough to film. That's what our children had to become, documentarians of their own trauma." Her eyes reflected pain. "Marcus and I questioned every interaction after that. Did I stay calm enough? Should I have cited law earlier? Did I do something that invited this? The psychological damage is real and ongoing." She shifted, now speaking professionally. "I've handled 60 police misconduct cases now. In nearly all of them, the victim is blamed. Why didn't you comply faster? Why did you look suspicious? But in my case, I had privilege. I was educated. My husband worked in tech. We had resources. We could afford lawyers. Most families can't." Her voice strengthened. "I've seen the pattern in 40% of my cases. Same officer, different families, same tactics, same excuses, same dismissal by supervisors." She looked directly at the camera. "If you work retail, hospitality, service, you have rights. You don't have to accept abuse. Recording interactions, knowing your local laws, having witnesses, these matter. Document everything. Know that if you're treated this way, it's not random, it's systemic. Her tone became urgent. Respect is the baseline. Your frustration with a policy doesn't justify abuse. Your belief that someone is wrong doesn't justify accusations without evidence. Consequences are real. Officers lose jobs, customers lose cases, families are destroyed. Before you make an accusation, ask yourself, do I have evidence or just anger? She concluded powerfully. This case cost our family and our city millions of dollars. It cost Officer Chen his career. But what it really revealed is that dignity shouldn't be sold. It shouldn't be negotiable. It shouldn't depend on whether someone is recording. Until we change that, there will be another family, another officer, another video. 40% of police misconduct complaints involve false arrests and wrongful detention. 60% involve racial minorities. Black Americans face accusations at nearly 3 times the rate of white Americans. 10.3 million people get stopped annually. Only 2.3% result in any charges. When officers make accusations without evidence, conviction rates drop to 3% in trials. Settlements cost municipalities $1.3 billion annually. Wrongful arrest cases take an average of 14 months to resolve. 73% of victims experience lasting psychological impact. Only 8% result in officer termination. This case mattered because it was documented. This case mattered because victims had resources. This case mattered because attention forced accountability. But most cases don't get attention. So let me ask you, do we want a system where officers can make accusations without evidence and face no consequences? Do we want accountability to only happen when someone has a phone, a lawyer, and 3 million people watching? Do we want the next person Officer Chen stops to be safer, or do we want them facing the same terror this family faced? Because if we don't demand accountability, if we don't require evidence before accusation, if we don't train officers differently and fire those who abuse their power, then we're just waiting for the next Officer Chen, the next false accusation, the next family traumatized, the next $2.5 million settlement paid by taxpayers who had nothing to do with the crime. Comment below. Do you believe Officer Chen should have faced criminal charges instead of just resignation? Could he have been prosecuted for filing a false report because the DA decided not to press charges? I think that was wrong. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these cases. We're going to keep demanding accountability from people in power. We're going to keep fighting for due process. We're going to keep fighting for presumption of innocence. We're going to keep fighting for the people who don't have lawyers, who don't have millions watching, but who still deserve dignity and respect. This isn't just about one cop or one family. It's about all of us and the society we're tolerating. Officer Chen is gone, but the system that protected him for 12 years is still here, still functioning, still allowing the same patterns to repeat. Until we change that system, we're all complicit. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. See you in the next one.